It's funny. So about the MBA, like I think you and I think we've both really, really considered it and ended up not doing it. Today, for me, I would never do it. I see it as a massive waste of time for opportunity cost and financial cost. I can just grab that money and invest and learn what I need to learn on a day-to-day basis. But what? And I went deep into qualifying if I wanted to do an MBA or not. There were two specific moments in my life. I ended up, I was counting, then I had a spreadsheet. I interviewed 54 MBAs just to really get to that decision. I visited every campus. So how was your decision making towards doing an MBA or not doing an MBA? Because I think that's a question that a lot of people in our world have, right?
Yeah, so basically, the when I was at Velt, at the fund, they they also thought it would be a waste of time. We would I was already evolving there a lot. So when the opportunity arose, it was when I left the fund and I was looking for getting something in tech. So I can explain later how was this movement, but when the MBA was possible for me because of the fact that my career was developing a lot, I didn't find time for it. When it became possible, it was right before I started more ventures and I started, my whole story here that led up to MS Online. So the fact was that I ended up using the money that I was going to use to an MBA. I invested everything in starting eGenius back then, and I had a real life MBA. So that's was what happened. So the decision was okay. I started, and then okay, it doesn't make sense anymore for me. I'm learning so much by doing it. So an MBA is not
Yeah,
an
for
option
me
now.
it was similar as well. I remember having the conversations, and folks were like, "Look, I'd love to. I'm doing the course so that I can work at a venture-backed company that goes really well." And I was already at SendGrid, and then we had a great outcome, went public, and then were acquired. And then the second time was like, I want to get a job in venture capital, and I had a job in venture capital. So I will not deny I do have a few gaps in terms of hard skills, but the reality is for instance, that's something that I think people overlook quite a lot. Is that in life, I think it's so important for you to learn how to learn, and then you break problems apart in small little pieces, and you learn what you need to learn at that moment. So the first exit, I was responsible for taking care of the first exit that for the first fund at one VC, and I've never done that before. And I was a little nervous, but at the same time, I got it done. And you had good lawyers, and that's it. You learn on the go. And I also for all the classes that I've watched at all the best schools, so Harvard, Stanford, Wharton, Columbia, MIT, Anderson at UCLA, Booth. I always felt that there's just like this 40% of almost like an etiquette that is just really weird. I don't like the way that the classes are structured with the little plates and the names and people just raising their hands, and it seems so artificial because I think we play in the arena every day building businesses, and it's nothing like that. So for me, so that was kind of like having those two experiences for me. It didn't add up, especially with the debt. And you look at look, I can just it's more productive. You can get that money, buy Amazon stock, you'd be better off.
And it's I do believe that it makes sense for people that are looking to recycle the career. Sometimes they're looking for some time to get an idea, or in terms of network. I do see there's a lot of networking that could leverage connections, raise capital, or even having someone to partner with to start a business. But when things are in motion, I don't see a reason to stop what you're doing to do an MBA. It's tough. You have so much. If you have the discipline, there's so much you can learn by yourself. There's so much you can exchange knowledge, and then you can build your own network. You did that, Pedro, and that's something I admire on you, the way
Thank
that you
you.
hustled your way into venture capital. but there's a way. You didn't have to do any Ivy League school to create the connections, and it is something that you can build yourself. So I do see that is there are applications for some people, but when things get in motion. So for now, the fact that I've learned so much this past 6 years by doing it, I don't I consider myself already with an MBA in entrepreneurship because of the mistakes I did. So I didn't have to work on the case. The case studies were the real life, and I fucked up a lot of them. So then you can know what not to do the next time.
Yes.
And
Well,
get
and I think
shortcuts.
soon enough, your company will then probably be like a case study in one of those schools. I mean, I've seen that happen so many times with all these entrepreneurs. It's just like they don't do the classes, but you go there and you kind of tell people the story. It's not it's a negative thing. I think it does fit a certain profile, and it is a good thing. And I very much appreciate many of the relationships I've built by just being around that ecosystem. It's just not for me, and but I think that it has its place in the world.